Uh, this is not what we look like. Can you see, you can see me, right?
I cannot see you. I can see an image. You got your video turned off, but
How do you do? Oh yeah, 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 in the bottom right here. It's that
there
has
you go.
that slash.
All right,
Yeah.
there you go. All right. So, how you doing, MT?
I am blessed. I am blessed. I'm just so excited to have you and start this journey.
Okay,
Uh,
so let me get started.
yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is a recorded private consultation with one of our members. We'll call him MT. I cannot pronounce his name, so we'll call him MT.
Yeah. Just,
um, and we are going over some basic navigating. This is a 30-minute consultation because I have another one shortly on the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners. So,
yes.
MT, when you first come to the website, at the home page, you're mainly going to be working. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can
Okay.
see yours.
So you're mainly going to be working in this area here, everything from Dispatcher 101 under here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So on Zoom, you always go to the Zoom link when you want to take the live trainings, when you want to attend the live trainings on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 11, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, so you understand that, right? You understand how to use that. Well, you do because you just connected, so you understand how to use the Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the Dispatcher 101 seminar, that doesn't apply to you because you are an enrolled, full-fledged member, so you don't have to worry about this. You already enrolled. You went here to actually enroll, so you've already done that, so you don't have to worry about that. Back office setup, you've already established your back office email and password to be able to log in, right?
Right, right.
So,
Yeah.
so you would log in, and then whatever email and password I approved you for, you've already. So with this, from back office login / setup, once you log in once and get approved once and confirm that email that you are approved, if I were you, I would stay logged in. But if you don't, you only need to log in one time and you have access to everything else. You don't have to keep logging in and out. You have X. So I logged in from back office. Now I'm going to click orientation. So these are the steps, right, in order. So now when you get to orientation, you can watch the video. It explains about orientation. And then you have your ebooks, your three free ebooks, how much money you need to move a truck, Dispatcher 101, and level two. Level two talks about in depth about the rate confirmation and the carrier packets. And then you have a glossary of basic terms, just generic terms in the industry for beginners getting started. Okay. And then
Okay.
you download these to your local computer so you can have them at your disposal to read ebooks in your spare time. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the orientation page. You watch the orientation video, download the PDFs, and then basically saying welcome. And here's an extra one too, owner operator best practices. But that's just some general information. It's 24 pages. You can read over that at your leisure. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So after orientation, you have now business setup is not telling you how to do the business setup. It's just providing information and leads to direct you in the right direction. Typically, people who do dispatching business, they either set up an S corp or an LLC. Most.
I'm sorry, Mr. Charles. I don't mean to cut you off. I just need more. That part I understand. I've been building it. I got the website to that level. Now I'm working on my business plan, and I'm not worried about the business setup. The only challenge where I'm having a difficulties on that the carrier acquisition. I'm good. But the on the module two, and three, four, like how can I use those at the same time? Like the load board.
Well,
How's
yeah,
the
you
this
you
load
can.
board? Yeah.
Okay, so carrier acquisition is basically giving you different steps, showing you the understanding of what equipment types to go after,
Uh-huh.
starting out as a dispatcher,
Yes.
the three major equipment types, right? You've heard me discuss this before, right?
No, no, I understand the flatbed, the reefer, and the
Right, right.
5348 box, right? Okay, this is my question. Now let's say I went to the load board, right?
Okay.
I see this job, and now I have a carrier, and I have the dispatch agreement signed, right?
Okay. Right.
So um, uh, that's where I get stuck. Like
Okay.
how?
Let's go
Yeah.
to load boards. So let's pretend that you have a carrier. You got a dispatch agreement in return, and so give me an equipment type carrier that you have, so we can use as an example.
A 53 box truck, like
The dry van.
dry van. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's say, and then what area you're in DC, right? So do we want to just have a dry van coming out of DC or just in Virginia?
Uh, yeah, Lorton, Virginia, if you don't mind. Let's
Okay.
try Lorton, Virginia. From
So
Lorton, Virginia, let's keep him south all the way to Texas, like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. In Georgia is where he wants to go.
okay, so on this particular load board, this is one of the load boards that we have. It's called 123 load
One
board.
to three low board. Yeah, okay.
Okay, do you know how to get to that?
Uh, I see it.
Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back under module 2, load boards,
Uh-huh.
right here, where it says module 2 load boards. If you click your mouse in this space here, it's going to change to the different load boards. And if you click the right arrow, you get to select the different load boards that we have available, right?
Okay, okay,
I just chose 123 load boards just to start off. Okay.
okay.
And I click the link to open it up. And then you should have your load board logins PDF in front of you, so you'll know what the username and password is for that load, right? To log in. Do you have that?
Okay.
Well, I'll do you one better. In module 2, when you first click module 2, over here where it says
Yeah,
load board logins,
yeah.
that's the PDF for all of the load boards in our back office with their respective username and passwords to log into.
Oh, okay.
So I would download that if I were you, maybe print it out and have it in front of you.
Where is it? Show me 1 second.
Okay, module 2, when you
Uh-huh.
first click module 2, you come to the module 2 page. To the
Yes.
right, for all the load boards you're going to select, this PDF has the logins for those load boards.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to click it because this is a
Yeah,
recording.
yeah. Yeah. I know,
Yeah, yeah.
I
And I'm
got you,
going to put
Mr.
this
Shop.
recording. I'm going to put this recording on YouTube. Okay.
That was a missing B. I got that one. Okay.
Okay. So now you have the logins for those. So I'm going to select 123 load board, and I've already logged into
Okay.
123 load board.
1 2 3
Right.
Lord.
So I'm already logged in. I selected. So now when you log into load, this is the dashboard. I'm gonna open this up. You click dashboard, it takes you to this area here. I'm gonna close this by clicking menu to close that, to expand it. Find loads. This is where you go to. Find loads. Okay. So now, whenever you look for loads for a carrier, irregardless of the equipment type, you select an origin of where the load is being picked up and a destination where it's being delivered to, right? Or you may have multiple destinations. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something with 123 load board that you may find interesting. So we said, let's say, what's in Northern Virginia? Arlington.
Lord, okay. Yeah, Arlington. That's good.
Okay, so
Arlington.
Arlington, Virginia. I'm gonna change the radius or the deadhead. What deadhead? You know what deadhead means?
Yeah, 100. Just put 100 miles. Yeah,
Okay,
that's how long he's gonna drive to before he pick up
right,
the
empty.
load.
Right, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
empty.
So now you can select a destination to a specific city that you want. You can select to a specific state or multiple states, or you can say anywhere. So you said you want to go to Texas and some other places, right?
Yeah, they want to stay on the from Virginia. You want to stay to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Texas.
So I
Yeah.
just selected those states. You see what I just did?
Okay. Yeah.
I selected North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Texas. So now those are the states. And then
Yeah.
for a van, right?
Okay.
So the equipment type is a van. I'm going to leave the pickup dates blank and everything else blank because I want to see how many loads I get. So I'm going to hit
Yeah.
search. So I got 100 loads found coming out of Arlington, Virginia, within a 100-mile deadhead, going to those 4 states that you selected: Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Texas. Now, what I do next in 123 load board, because some of these loads are posted, the rates are posted by the brokers. Some of them are not. They're blank right here where it says offer and rate check. So I'm going to click offer to push upwards the rates that are posted. See what I
With the
just did?
price. Yeah.
With a rate. So now
Okay.
you can kind of, now the ones that are not posted, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You just got to call the broker and you got to understand what your numbers are. And what I mean by that, you have to know, okay, you got a driver under a dispatcher agreement. They have a drive-in. You got to know what their cents per mile is. Like, what do they want to try to make cents per mile? Usually $2 a mile, $2.25 or whatever for a drive-in.
Yeah, whatever they value,
So
they want.
if you got, for example, if you got one of these that doesn't have a rate, but you know the loaded miles, and it's not much deadhead. Alexandria is only 6 miles deadhead from Arlington, right? It's not that far. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even add this 6 miles into the loaded miles. The loaded miles is 1327. So, and if you knew you didn't have a rate here, but you knew your carrier wanted $2, let's say $2.25 a mile.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he wanted $2.25 a mile, and that load is going 1327 miles,
yeah.
you multiply 225 a mile times 1327, and that's the starting rate that you want to quote to the broker or start off with. You haven't added in your percentage yet, right? So
Right.
if right now it's $29.85, so I'm going to round up to $3,000. So starting off is going to be $3,000. So let's say that you what do you charge? Do you charge a flat rate or do you charge a percentage for your dispatching services?
I just put 10% is what I had in mind as
Okay,
a
so between 8 and 10% is, if you're just starting this, I would recommend between 8 and 10.
8 to 10. Yeah.
So $3,000. So let's say $3,000. 1327 times 225 is about $2,985.75. So I'm going to round up to 3,000, right?
Yeah.
Nice round number. So now when you call the broker, remember that's what the carrier want. You haven't put your percentage on top of that rate and given that to the broker yet. So what's 10% of $3,000? It's 300, right?
300. Yeah.
Right. So now you're going to add 300 to that 3,000. You're going to be what, 3,300.
Okay.
So now when you call the broker, in this case, Total Quality Logistics, you're going to say, hey, Total Quality Logistics, hey, dispatch at Total Quality Logistics. I'm looking at a load of dry-van load coming out of Alexandria, Virginia on the 10th, which is tomorrow, on the 10th going to Dallas, Texas. Is that load still available? They're going to say, let me check. By the way, what's your MC number? When they ask you for the MC number, you are giving them the MC number of your carrier, right? Because dispatchers and dispatching companies do not have MCs. They don't have motor carrier numbers. You're working, unmute yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, what I was saying is don't worry, I have another question.
Go
You know,
ahead,
the
ask your
authority,
question.
you know, how does that authority, like I know we don't have that as a dispatch firm. We don't have that DOT, so we utilize the driver DOT. So how does that work if let's say if the truck this guy works under someone's DOT authority, do we
Okay,
need
so
to get
if your carrier, if you get a carrier under a dispatch agreement, when you first talk to the carrier, he says, I'm a company driver or I'm an owner operator leased under someone else's authority. That's what
yeah.
you're saying. So my next question to him would be, well, does that company that you're leasing to allow you to have your own dispatch and find your own loads? If they say yes, then you can continue to work with them. If they say no, then what they mean is they have an internal dispatching team as part of that company and you can't dispatch for them because they already have a dispatch. So normally you wouldn't even go after owner operators who are leasing under someone else's authority. That's not even a good
Oh,
idea because there's a lot of potential to overlap between the company's dispatching team and yourself. You normally target owner operators with their own truck and trailers and their own DOT and MC authorities. That way you don't have to worry about any red tape or any of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this is the challenge I've been having is this owner operators, they bought the truck, like the flatbed and the van, but they have the MC, but the DOT number is belongs to someone else. It's kind of
That's not possible.
that's not possible.
When you apply for your motor carrier authority, you get your DOT pretty much for free when you apply with the FMCSA. So how can the DOT, unless they ran under the company's DOT prior to applying for their MC authority? So so even with that situation, then you would still ask the question, does the company that you are leased under using their DOT or their MC allow you to find your own loads and use your own dispatching people, and you just pay them for using their MC? And if they say yes, then you can pursue dispatching for them, finding loads and still charging your percentage. Otherwise, I would steer clear of those types of situations. I would only focus on starting out for a beginning company, like a beginning dispatching company. I would only focus on going after owner operators with their own MC and DOT and their own truck and trailer. They own the truck, they own the trailer, or they're at least making payments on the trailer and truck, but it's theirs, right? So,
Yes. And then I saw your safe. I love that. I can just check in with their DOT number or MC number.
Right, the safer website. So you just look up the MC and DOT and verify if they are carriers or part of a brokerage and things like that. So what other questions did I answer? Are you good on this load board, this load example?
Okay, let's say let's say we're about to dispatch this particular load.
Okay, so let's continue on in this workflow then of this example. So let's say that you are talking to the broker and your carrier wants this load, and your carrier agreed to the rate that was posted, and you called the broker and the broker accepted your negotiated rate, $3,300, because you got the load for $3,000, but you added your 10%, $300 on top of that. So the broker said, okay, I can do it for $3,300, $3,400. So now you tell your carrier everything's good, and then the broker is going to send you the carrier packet. So if your carrier is not set up with, in this example, TQL, Total Quality Logistics, they're going to say, okay, you're not set up with us, but that's not a problem. Who do I send the carrier agreement or the dispatcher, the broker carrier agreement, the setup agreement, the onboard packet to? Those all mean the same thing. As a dispatcher, of course, you have the broker send it to you, because you can get that filled out quicker than your carrier can. Your carrier might be driving right now under a load or whatever. Okay. So you get that information, you go through the carrier packet, fill it out, return it to the broker, and then you also return copies of most brokers, if not all, when they set up carriers who are not already set up with their brokerage, they are always looking for a copy of the MC authority letter, a copy of the W-9, and a copy of the certificate of insurance. And if your carrier has a factoring company, then the NOA, copy of the NOA, notice of assignment, right? You understand those?
That's first for my ear. What was the last one you just said?
If you're okay, so
NIA?
Yeah, the N is in Nancy, O is in opera, and A is in apple. NOA is called. It stands for Notice of Assignment.
Notice of assignment. Exactly.
Notice of assignment. So what that is it's the factoring company's way of doing a credit check on the broker to make sure that they pay on time and there are no red flags. Because if the broker is not factorable according to the factoring company's NOA, then the factoring company is not going to want to deal with that broker, and they're going to let the carrier know. So it's a safety net for the carrier, protection. Okay.
I got it. Okay. I was wondering how that works, but that makes sense now. There's just that was the missing point. I couldn't connect it. Okay.
Right.
Appreciate that, Charles.
So you follow along right now in the example?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's say you So remember, when you got your carrier under a dispatcher agreement, remember you got the dispatcher agreement returned to you from your carrier, the profile returned to you from your carrier. And remember, you had also asked your carrier to return copies of the W-9, the MC authority, and the certificate of insurance when you initially got that carrier under a dispatch agreement, because you, and the NOA if they have a factoring company, because you need those copies beforehand before you even call a broker, because brokers ask for these things all the time because they need them to get your carrier set up with their brokerage. Right? Any
Right.
questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Sorry. Let's say everything went smooth, like so if the factoring company did their credit check to the broker, and let's say the broker is one of those not in a good credit term, they don't pay on time to the
Right?
to everybody. So what's the worst thing that I should look into? Let's say that particular broker is it's not good individual or good individual company that pays on time, that has a bad reputation. What are we looking at as a bad? I mean, for us and the driver, what would be the worst thing could happen?
The worst thing going to happen is that if your driver decides to take that load, even though your factory company informed the driver through the filled out the NOA results that the broker is not factorable, your carrier is going to say, well, okay, well, they're not factorable, so we can't factor the load, but we still can use the payment options because sometimes brokers offer payment options on their side. So your carrier may not necessarily use their factory company's method to get. Your carrier has a factoring company. They sent an NOA to the broker. The factory companies, the results of that NOA says that broker is not factorable for this, and this reason. So the carrier says, okay, so I'm not going to use my factoring company. I want that load, but I'm not going to use my factoring company to get paid. I'm going to use the payment options of that broker, even though the factoring company told me that they were not factorable or not good. So I still want that load because it seems to be a good load. I'm going to take a chance, carrier. So now you're going to use one of the payment options of the broker: quick pay, wire transfer, or paper check. Because brokers also offer payment options, especially to carriers who do not have factoring companies. Okay. So that'll be the risk that your carrier will take. So, and then go ahead.
No, I was just looking at the one on the side on your screen. On the side, those are the icons. Like all the way to the like where it says those.
Yeah,
the clipboard.
the only one that you need to worry about is the dashboard. It takes you to either load availability, find loads, and load planner. Those are the ones that you know. So we're in right now find loads because it's highlighted, but you have load availability and load planner. So that's.
Please continue the workflow, Mr. Chance.
Okay. So yeah, we got 2 minutes. Jesus. I'll do an extra 5 though. So let's say for example, in this workflow, the factoring company's NOA came back, the broker was good. The carrier got set up with the brokerage, everything was clear. The NOA was good, the MC, the authority, the certificate of insurance, the W-9. The broker said, okay, the carrier is approved for our brokerage to run the load. Now they're going to send you what's called a rate confirmation to sign and officially book the load. So the load is not officially booked until the rate confirmation is signed on that particular load and sent back to the broker. The purpose of the carrier packet and all the other stuff was just to get your carrier set up with that brokerage. That particular load is not booked until you sign that rate confirmation and send it back. So when the broker sends you the rate confirmation, you want to make sure everything on the rate confirmation matches what was posted on the load board for that load or what you guys agreed to. Okay. So now once that's sent back, then now it's the load is officially booked. and now your carrier is on its way to the shipper to pick that load up.
Okay.
Okay, so we're still in the workflow.
Okay.
Right? Your carrier has a copy of the rate con. You have a copy of the rate con.
Yeah.
Your carrier is on the way to the shipper in Alexandria to pick this load up. Once they get to the shipper to pick the load up, they are going to get a copy of what's called a BOL, a bill of lading.
Bill of lading.
Yep. And on it, it has the shipper's information, the receiver's information. So at the shipper, they get the original BOL. The shipper loads the trailer. They verified everything was loaded correctly. All the pallet counts was good. Nothing was damaged. Everything was good. So the shipper signs their area on the bill of lading. The carrier signs next to the shipper's information, and they date and time stamp it to verify that everything was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the carrier's loaded. Then they start to move the truck and transport the freight to the receiver to deliver. Okay.
Okay.
They get to the receiver. Okay. They get to the receiver on time. Everything worked out. So now they're being unloaded at the receiver because this is where they delivered. In this case, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
So they're there now being unloaded. So now when they're finished being unloaded, they go in there and verify that everything that was loaded at the shipper is accounted for at the receiver, offloaded, nothing's damaged, the pallet counts are good. The receiver signs verifying that on the BOL, and the carrier signs next to the receiver verifying that everything that he picked up is delivered on time and everything's accounted for, and they time stamp and date that. Now, the final copy of that is now the BOL turns into what's called now a POD, proof of delivery. Because now the carrier's truck is empty. It's a proof of delivery now. That is the invoice that the carrier used to get paid. Because that's the receipt of delivery. That's the proof that they delivered this load. They have a signature on that POD. It was a BOL, now it's a POD because the truck is empty. The shipper signed their area. The receiver signed their area. Everything was good. Now the carrier has a copy of that POD. That's their invoice to send either to the broker to get paid or to their factory company if they have a factory company. That is the process and the workflow of dispatching.
Okay. I can't get enough of your lecture. I'm gonna have to sign out one more, that 1 hour and 20 minutes or something. So that way, but with what you gave me, I think I can see you gave me that seed. So
Well,
I need,
tonight we have training tonight.
yeah, I can ask any question there, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna call you. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Uh,
training tonight at 6 p.m. for our regular members.
of
You are an enrolled member, so
Oh
yeah.
man, believe me, I already put my alarm on. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for it like Christmas. But hey, this is good enough. I don't want to take up your time. I know you got another appointment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
I appreciate it, Mr. Charles.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, like I said, I can't finish having more training from you, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, and I see you later on, 6:30, right?
No,
Do you,
6
six
p.m. Eastern. So
6 p.m.
if you look at the screen here on the website,
Yeah, yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, on the Zoom call when you went to log into the Zoom, it has the times for the Zoom for the meetings. Wednesday night at 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sundays at 11 Eastern. Both of them Eastern Standard Time. So
Okay.
that's our time,
All right.
right?
Yeah, Mr. Charles. One more thing that's still bothering me here. What we just did, like the load board, right? We have the everything. Let's say you send it to the driver. From that, from the load board, does it send them the the bill of landing or the
No,
bill
no.
of
The
load?
driver always gets the bill of lading when they go to pick up the load at the shipper.
Okay.
The
Who
shipper,
sends them that? Like I send them?
the broker
The broker.
once the rate confirmation is signed and the load is booked, the broker always sends the information to the shipper facility where the driver is picking the load up. So by the time the driver gets there to pick the load up, the bill of lading is already there waiting on them, and they'll get to the shipper to get loaded, and they'll get a BOL right there. That's where they get it.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, thank you. I
All
thought
right.
okay, perfect, perfect. That makes sense. Any particular where I can get more information about the factoring, you know, on your PDFs? One of the
Um,
how the factoring industry works. I just wanted to
I
see.
may put. I don't have any. I may put something in the forms and documents, or even tools and resources. So let's go to tools and resources. I may put some information in there about factoring later on. So, okay.
Okay,
Right
okay.
now, I don't have anything in there particularly. Or you can always
No, don't worry. I'll just Google it myself. I was just asking for recommendation. If you, off top of your head, I know it, but if you think about it a little bit, I know you could get it.
yeah,
Maybe later.
bring it up tonight, and we'll cover that.
Okay, appreciate that.
All right.
All right, appreciate it. And yeah, let me just dive in. Today, I want to book two loads, so expect a lot of call from you, Mr. Charles, if you don't mind.
Okay. You got a carrier under a dispatcher agreement already.
Uh, I'm gonna make because earlier I asked you, but you said that's not because what they're telling me is the authority, right? I keep asking them like the MC, the DOT number is under you because I'm gonna do my checking in the back, and then every time I say that, they say yeah, 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 but and now they are a driver, but they could book their own load. So you told me so that way the owner of that DOT number has to I wanted to include there whoever owns that DOT number, whoever got that authority, like a carrier authority, I want them to sign too. So if they are a driver, but they could book their load, so I need their two the driver and the carrier owner or the authority owner to sign. We can do that too, right, Mr. Charles?
You can, but if that authority owner has their own internal dispatching team, they're not going to be willing to do that because what
Oh,
they're
they
doing
did.
is they're giving you the money that they can make themselves by dispatching their own trucks. So as an owner, why would I do that? Why would I put myself in a position to do that?
Well, if you are very informed carrier, yes. But if you don't know, culture clash barrier, on the other end, I'm not trying to make something up, but I hope you understand what since
Yeah,
you
that's
said it's
fine.
a yeah, because it's a, language barrier, understanding of the industry barrier. So I'm trying to, bring that gap, um, to those who doesn't know how to get those right information and to do the right thing and make money, I'm not, this is not a charity. I want to work hard, but I want to give them what they deserve, just because they don't know and they've been disadvantaged, truck drivers out there. uh, but if you look at it from the way you said it, from well informed, who work hard, who wants to learn more, and who reads more, and growth their knowledge. Yes, but on the other end, there is the opposite reaction.
Yep.
So that's my target audience. So if you, so they I'm trying to still trying to understand. I'm new. I'm listening. I'm willing to learn, like the NOA, POD. Now there is more for me to learn. So let me uh,
All right.
let me get myself together, Mr. Charles. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. I'll talk to you tonight.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Bye.